What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully everyone is having a good day and doing well. So for today's horror news and update, we have an update on one of these public domain characters, Disney characters that many of us grew up with, that is either part of the existing Pooniverse or isn't part of the existing Pooniverse. There are several films that are being worked on that aren't part of the Pooniverse. We've seen, for example, like The Little Mermaid, or we've seen a trailer for The Little Mermaid. I don't think that film is released yet. We've also seen some of the various trailers for the interpretations of Popeye the Sailor Man, which now there are 3 movies coming out on that character alone. We did do a trailer review and reaction to one of those Popeye movies, and I'm just going to be honest, it did not look good. Nothing about the trailer was good. Nothing about it seemed like what the effort that was putting into it was good. Now, that's not to say I'm not knocking anybody who's part of that production, that they weren't giving it their all. It's just the final product of what was being shown in that trailer just didn't look good. I'm just gonna be honest. It just looked really bad. So we do have an update on another one of these public domain characters, this time Cinderella. Now, we first reported on this when we saw one of the first images that were released back on December 12th during our daily video episode 46. So if you didn't check out that video, you want to see some of the details that were shared at that point, we'll put a link to that video in the description below. So again, go check out that video. Otherwise, we have an update here. Cinderella body horror movie, The Ugly Stepsister, made someone vomit at Sundance. Now, there's a picture down below we're gonna look at. It's not a picture of the vomit. It's just a picture of like the aisleway in a movie theater that you walk up to get to your seat, and then there's like this little cone that's sitting there, and that's it. Now, I'm going to question whether or not this is accurate. Now, before I give my opinion on that, let's look at some of the details of the article first. But I do definitely have an opinion on this and maybe why this is coming out the way it is. So, all right, so we have this image here. If you haven't already seen this image, this is an image from the film. So it's always a sign of a good horror movie when it's making audiences squirm and even vomit in their seats. And this year's first horror movie to meet those high standards has already been unleashed upon the world. It's titled The Ugly Stepsister, a body horror twist on the classic Cinderella fairy tale that just premiered at Sundance Film Festival last night. So this article came out a couple days ago. So this last night, that would have been January 23rd. Is when it premiered at Sundance Film Festival, and that's the only time. I mean, besides that showing, I didn't see any other information about when this would be released in the U.S. Now, the next release for this, which I think is going to be a broad release, is on March 7th, 2025, and that's happening in Norway. I believe also in Poland, Sweden, and Denmark. I believe those regions are also getting their release around that time. Now, for those in the U.S., Shudder has acquired the rights for North America, the U.K., Australia, and New Zealand. They acquired those rights in December 2024. But the film is being released, like I said, in those other areas on March 7th, 2025. So there's no date as to when we can expect to see this, whether it will get a wide release. But if Shudder has the rights, more than likely what will end up happening is after that, probably that March release, probably soon after that, it will then hit on Shudder streaming. I can't imagine it would hit before that, but you never know. It might be if Shudder is not available in those regions. All right, so according to a report from Variety that details the sights and sounds of Sundance's opening night, it was also clear that Sundance still favors the bold and doesn't shy away from screening films that may elicit strong reactions. During the premiere of the opening of Sundance midnight movie Ugly Stepsister, a moviegoer leaned over into the aisle and got sick. The outlet further details the content. Emily Blichel's body horror film includes several difficult-to-watch scenes of crude cosmetic surgery, including its protagonist eating a tapeworm, sewing in eyelashes, and enduring a barbaric rhinoplasty. But is there any truth to this report, or is it a little more than movie marketing? Well, Bloody Disgusting head critic Megan Navarro was actually on hand during the screening of The Ugly Stepsister at Sundance last night, and she has verified Variety's eye-catching report. Megan tweets, my review of The Ugly Stepsister, a gnarly body horror twist on Cinderella, is live on at BD or Be Disgusting. In short, I loved it, but it's not for all for the squeamish. She adds, just ask the poor soul who got sick at Sundance premiere last night. All right, so let's pause here for a moment. So this is what I was wondering. Was this just a potential marketing scheme? And we'll scroll right past this bit here. Let's just get right to the picture that they're referring to. So this is a post that was made from Megan, and then here's what I'm talking about, right? You don't see anything. You just see where they put it over the spot where apparently somebody got sick. The reason I was questioning this and thinking this is marketing as well is because we had the same type of reports that came out when Terrifier 3 was released late last year, and there was constant reports. I think the first reports came out that once the first showings were given in the UK, that people were getting sick and people were walking out because of how gory and grotesque the film was. I think that was all marketing. I don't think any of that happened because, I mean, I went and saw Terrifier 3. I didn't have any moments where I was like, oh, I gotta look away, this is too gruesome, or I feel squeamish or sick to my stomach based on what I'm seeing. Now, everyone's different, don't get me wrong. Some people are a bit more squeamish than others. However, I do think, though, that, you know, when it comes to these body horror films like this one or things like Terrifier, putting reports out like this is definitely a good marketing ploy, because I believe it's going to garner people to want to go see it because they feel that, wow, it's that grotesque or that gory or violent that made somebody sick. I got to go see this film, right? So the fact that somebody, you know, can validate and confirm, no, this really happened, it's not just a marketing ploy, that's good. Otherwise, like I said, it would have been hard for me to believe. So let's jump back to, I think we were down here a bit. So as Megan explains in her review, Blood Chills employs historically accurate medical procedures to great stomach churning effect, delivering graphic body horror by way of unflinching surgeries and self-harm, all in the name of love. The filmmaker refuses to let her audience look away. Each moment of Elvira's ruthless metamorphosis from an awkward ugly duckling to a poised stunner is drawn out to an unbearable degree and frequently shot in extreme close-ups. Beauty is pain, and The Ugly Stepsister wants you to feel it on a visceral level. It's elegant, stylish, and gnarly, Megan adds in her 4-star review. So I'm looking forward to this film. When I heard that they were doing this one, I was all for it because I was wondering how they could turn Cinderella into a horror film. The fact that they're not shying away from it, pretty much kind of like what The Substance did. We have now another film that's entering into the subgenre of body horror. We also have Grafted, which I haven't seen yet. I know that just got released on Shudder, I think this past week. I'm going to be taking a look at that this week and coming back and giving you all my review. We did do a trailer review reaction of Grafted when that trailer first dropped. So be on the lookout for a spoiler movie review in the coming week for that. So we are starting to get a bit more of these body horror films. But this one is not just deemed as a body horror film, it's also been deemed as a horror comedy. So that's interesting because those are two vastly, in my opinion, two vastly different spectrums when you think about horror subgenres. A comedy horror, body horror and a horror comedy. I don't know, I don't think those two, in my mind, don't necessarily fit. I do see them as completely different things. So, but based on this review, it's pretty grotesque, it's pretty violent, so I can't wait to see this one. Hopefully, for us in the US and the other regions where Shudder owns the rights, it will hit Shudder soon after that March 7th release in Norway. So more to come on this one, and hopefully we might even get a trailer here soon too as well, now that it's already gone through Sundance. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for this horror news update. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Do you plan on seeing The Ugly Stepsister once it becomes available? Or are these public domain films just not for you? It's just not your cup of tea and you really don't necessarily care about them? Again, let us know down in the comment section. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And to all the existing and new subscribers, thank you very much. I appreciate all the support, and we will catch you at the next one. Peace.